It's going to be an exciting day today. As soon as that gate opens, we got a big surprise. Donnie put this one on.
What are you doing?
Well, we can't reveal the machine without my decal on it. And it's got to be straight or it's going to bother me.
It's crooked.
No, it's not. I'm not supposed to rub it that hard. decals are on the machine, so it's officially mine. So I've been waiting almost 5 months for this thing to get here. I ordered it back in June when I realized I needed another machine to keep up with the workload that I have, and I had always wanted a new one. So guess what? I finally got one. This is the first brand new big excavator I have personally owned, and it's been a long time waiting for it. So I reached out with Ascendum and ordered the machine through them, and AMI worked together with them to get my original setup back on this new machine because I liked it so much. So we went with the progressive link thumb, the 48-inch digging bucket, and the hydraulic quick coupler. We'll come back to that, but I'll show you kind of what I changed on that to make that work. This one is a 2020 or 2022 Volvo 220. It is set up with active controls. So on these new machines, they don't have pilot controls anymore. So it's all electronic controls. So what that does is, if you look at the joysticks right here, I'll hold the camera. So here is the cab view of the new machine. Travel pedals, straight drive, and optional foot control for the thumb. I use the joysticks. This machine has the new electronic controls in it, so there are no more pilot controls, which means everything is electronic. If you need to change any of these buttons, it's very easy to go into the display screen right there and change everything around. I actually run my thumb control backwards, where that's down and that's up, where normally that would be down and that's up, and it's very easy. It takes like 30 seconds to go in the screen there and show you how to change that. So these machines are set up so you can pretty much run a steel wrist or any attachment possible that you would want to run with all the options, because they have rocker switch, 4 buttons, another button, another rocker switch, 2 more buttons right there, 2 rocker switches, 2 buttons, another button, a rocker switch, and 2 more buttons right there. So you have plenty of options to run whichever attachments you want, put them over here, do whatever. So I'm sure you've noticed one big change about this. There's a whole different monitor in here. This machine is actually set up with the 2D grade control system in it, Dig Assist. So it's not been set up just yet. I haven't had the tech come out here and show me how to set everything up yet. I literally just got the machine, as you saw. So it's not configured to the bucket, but once, I'll do a whole nother video on that once we get everything set up. He'll have to program the bucket in there. And what that will do is show the machine as you're, digging a slope or whatever. You can get your grades and everything and be able to use that to be able to, say I'm digging a basement, I'll be able to check my grade and then pull back across with all that. But I'll save that for once that's set up and working right. But I am super excited for this machine. Still got the plastic on the seat, and 9.9 hours. This is, like I said, the first brand new machine that I've ever had, and we'll continue the walk around of it and show more features off. So here are the AMI attachments and the AMI LD18 progressive link thumb. So we'll start with the bucket. They made some changes on this since I bought the other one 2 years ago. It is now made out of Hardox 450 instead of the 400. And if you notice on the back of the bucket, the other one I have has the wear strips on it. And on this one, what they've done, they've actually plated the whole entire bottom of the bucket in Hardox 450. And from what they say is it gives it 75% more life expectancy out of it, as it's a much stronger and more durable steel. So without having all the wear strips, they say it takes a little bit of weight off the bucket. And overall, without those wear strips, as you're sitting there loading dirt, if it's got all those places for dirt to sit in there, as you're sitting there digging dirt and loading the truck, it's just more stuff that can keep falling off the bucket. So that kind of gives it a good, cleaner looking product right there. On this one, since I'm doing a lot of clearing, I opted just to get the lower cutting edges on it. I'm not really in a lot of rocks, so I didn't need the extra set of side cutters that went up here. Because when you're digging, majority of your wear is from here down. So it's real important that all this is protected real good. And I think they changed this right here, this top bracket for the bucket. That's changed a little bit different to make that a little bit stronger as well. And I went back with the Esco bucket teeth because I literally got 1,300 hours out of the first set that I had. And I thought that was very impressive. So went back with those. Standard AMI hydraulic quick coupler. And this is my beauty right here, the AMI LD18 progressive link thumb. So this was my thumb design. I have it right here. We have a tine that will go between every bucket tooth. A little bit of changes on this one. What we did was we actually shortened the thumb tines by about 3 inches. It still goes in between the teeth and everything where you can grab stuff, but what I wanted to try to avoid was it will hit the bottom of the boom right there. So by shrinking that up, that keeps that center tine from stabbing into the bottom of the boom. There's a lot of machines that have you know, 5 tines, but any machine that has the progressive link thumb or the quick coupler, it adds so much more length to it, and that's what allows this to hit the boom. So we shrunk that. A lot of companies will leave these the same, and the 2 outer ones will be like that much longer, and these will be like some very short little stubby teeth. And when you're clearing, you know, it's hard to say that was a log right there. It's hard to grab that when you have these outer teeth that are, you know, 6 inches longer than the inner one. So I was very adamant about designing that where it worked, but it would not be an interference with hitting the machine. So I'm super excited to try that out and see how that works. But other than that, this is pretty much set up the same. Hydraulic hoses. On this machine right here, if you look right there, I have another set of auxiliary hydraulics. So it's actually got 3. A set for the quick coupler, a set for the thumb, and then the third aux. So now I can run the tilting grading bucket and still be able to use the thumb at the same time. All I can do is run my hoses up to there and plug those in, because before I only had 2 sets of hydraulics, so I could only run the thumb or the bucket. I had to put a diverter valve in there, and I couldn't use the thumb and the tilt bucket at the same time. So now went all out and got all that. So let me fold the boom down and show you what we got going on up here. So you'll notice with the progressive link thumb, the stick is actually all the way in, and you can literally still grab stuff. So that's the whole object of the progressive link, is it follows the rotation of the bucket. So pretty much wherever the bucket is at, I will be able to grab something. So that's been a key game changer, because look at the mess I have to clean up out here. That's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna have to be grabbing, and the more travel that you have out of thumb, the less you have to sit there and back the machine up. So with a regular stick pivot thumb, you know, it's only going to come down to about, in this position, to about right here. So I wouldn't be able to grab anything till I'm about 90 degrees out. And if you had a manual thumb, most of those are like 3/4 of the way out. It doesn't travel. So you have so much more flexibility on being able to grab stuff with this style thumb. And as we saw in the cab earlier, it's got the dig assist. So what there are sensors right there. I'm pretty sure that goes to a laser. Like I said, I haven't had the breakdown with the tech yet on how everything works, but I'm pretty sure that's where, if you set it up to a laser, that's where it receives. But for the dig assist, there are sensors right here. There's one here. You'll see there's one right there on the end of the stick, and there should be one right there behind the cylinder. And what that does is it keeps track of all the movements of the machine and kind of tells the machine exactly where everything's at, so it can keep up with the geometry of digging. So like I said, I'll do a whole nother video on that, explaining that. I did notice one thing that I really like, and that's all these grease lines right here. They used to all be steel lines, and they run over to all the, you know, the stick cylinder and your stick pivot pin right there. They used to be steel lines. Well, they've changed them to rubber lines now, because what happens is when you're clearing and you're in the woods, sticks and stuff hit that, and when it's a steel line, they kink and get bent. So now it's a rubber line. It should have a little more flex. Yes, you can still rip it off, but I think it's going to stand a better chance of still being on there 2 years from now. So I like the way everything is. Everything's tucked up pretty good. Actually, when I first saw the machine, I didn't even think it had the third aux on because it's tucked back here so nice. Most people end up running them on the side, so I like that it's right here. It's kind of tucked up there, nice and really protected. And all in all, I'm very happy with it. Everything else is pretty much the same. I got the standard 32-inch pads on it. Got the logo on this side. Side cameras and back cameras, so it gives you the rear view and the side view of the machine. And everything else is set up just like the other one. All your filters you need to change are right here. Oil filter, water separator, and fuel filter. And it's got another hydraulic filter right there. So I like that. It's super easy to be able to service everything on this machine. And look right here. No scratches. No scratches. I'm gonna have to wrap it in saran wrap. I'm afraid to clear with it. I don't want to scratch it. I've been really good, but it does happen. Most of the time it's when you're driving with the tracks, and they'll pinch a stick or something like that, and they'll drag it up down the side. So, but there it is, the brand new 2022 Volvo 220e excavator, and I think we need to go get it dirty now. Well, normally it helps if you take the rubber cap off. I need a screwdriver. Take two.
That's how you know it's still
A knife. That's
still
how
new.
That's how I know that hasn't been greased. It was painted on there. There we go. So we know that that pin has not had any grease in it. So you can't run a new machine without grease. So I'm going to do the good grease like we're not going to grease for the rest of the week to make sure that it's good to go. Progressive Link has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grease fittings. And I just grease till I start to see it squirt out. That's good. Five, 6, 7. I forgot about these two right here. This one's actually a little bit different. Well, I guess not. Grease. Grease. Alright, let me do the other side and we'll be good to go. I like it. I like it. I gotta sweep my cardboard off. It's getting dirty. All right, well, there it is. Brand new machine. Super happy with it. Dug up a few stumps here. It's getting kind of late. Gonna go ahead and finish the day out and work a little bit longer. But I'm very happy with it, and I think it's going to be a huge asset for my line of work here. Having two machines this size is really going to open up a lot of more opportunities instead of being so dependent on one. Like the job that it's on right now, I can't do anything else till it rains. Well, having another one, I can just get started on this project right here. So yeah, should be a whole lot more videos of it.